I actually managed to make $76 in just over an hour. That's crazy money. Do you ever find yourself just sitting idly during your lunch break, or even just during the day at work, perhaps thinking, I wish I could be doing something more productive, maybe even making a little bit of extra money on the side? Well, I have news for you. We're going to enlist the help of a little thing called artificial intelligence and a platform called Beth. They use artificial intelligence and algorithms to give you suggestions on what horses to bet on. And they say that by following these suggestions, you can make a return of up to 150% each month and up to almost 2000% for the year. That's a pretty serious claim, so you know we gotta test this out. So for the next 7 days, I'm going to be spending around an hour each day giving this a go and seeing how much money we can make. Full disclosure here. Beth.bet did approach me, they emailed me and asked if I would take a look at their product and make a video about what I thought about it. So this is my first ever paid video. I'll just give you a minute to write a congrats comment. Thank you. But don't worry, this is very much still my own thoughts and feelings, and you will see that throughout the video, and I would never do anything that would compromise that. So I specifically ensured, and I asked them, made sure it was okay to give my true feelings, otherwise I wasn't interested. So thank you to Beth.bet, but now let's jump straight into day one. I'll show you what it does and how it works. So I've gone ahead, I've signed up, I've watched the tutorials, I've read through some tips and their frequently asked questions, so I'm just about ready to go. So to summarize for you, it's an AI-driven product that makes predictions on horse racing. It then relays these suggestions to you, tells you what odds you should place your bets at, and then the money just rolls in. Or so they say. They advise you to make at least 20 bets per day to get a nice stable profit, and the default stake for these bets is £1. Of course you can change this if you want, but we'll talk more about that later. It is a numbers game, so you are going to lose the majority of these bets, but the ones that do win will make a nice high return and hopefully put you back in the green. There are lots of other settings you can fiddle with on Beth, but I'm just going to set everything to default and work with what Beth has given me. So let's show you how this thing works then. We're in the workspace, and as you can see, there's the start button up here, which is what we're gonna press to kick things off. Now normally what you would do would just be to use the bookmaker on the laptop or computer that you're doing this on. Bet365 won't let me log in on the computer, and I can only seem to log on my iPad. So I have my laptop here, and then I have my iPad beside it, so I can search up the suggestions in Bet365 on my iPad. So if I go ahead and click start now, you'll see that something pops up, and the horse's name is Julie Johnston. I'm going to type that in on my iPad, it'll pop up, and then I'm going to go on win, set stake to £1 and place bet. And then afterwards I click save here, which means that I have placed this bet. So these numbers here, we have 11 over 9.35. So 11 is the odds that Beth.bet have found this deal at, so that's what they want you to place it at. However, odds change live. If it goes below 9.35, you should no longer place this bet. So if you click on this link here where it says Kempton, this will take you straight to Bet365. However, as I mentioned, mine isn't working for some reason, so you're not going to see anything here. Ordinarily, that would take you straight to it. So on day one, there was a few things to get used to. I spent half the time fighting with Bet365. I'm probably going to have to rant about this some point during the video. It's terrible. But overall, I only managed to do 11 bets today, as they were coming through a lot slower than I expected. So hopefully that picks up. Things didn't go great today. I started trying to do my hour around 2 p.m. UK time, and after an hour or so, I had only had 3 suggestions. So I was like,
hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
So I messaged the support team and see if they had any advice for me, and fair enough, they responded very quickly and very helpfully. And the guy told me, oh yeah, you pretty much need to do it between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. midday, as that's when most of the races are. That's something that would have been nice to know prior to doing this, and I had read all the frequently asked questions, gone through the little starter guide, watched the tutorial video. I don't think it mentioned this anywhere, which I think they really should have. So not a great start to the week really, but hopefully we can pull things together for the rest of the week and get more than 3 bets tomorrow. So I'll be up bright and early to start then. Okay, a few things I forgot to mention at the start. Firstly, I only really needed an initial deposit of around 40 quid. So you could get started doing this with around 40 quid, I reckon, provided you are using £1 stakes. If you're using a different stake, then just multiply 40 by whatever number you're using. I really like that you can start with a small amount. It makes it more accessible to more people. If you have 40 quid, then you can get this free trial and get started with it today. Next thing I wanted to mention is I'm only doing this for week. That's how long the free trial is, and that's all the time I have at the minute. But when using a probability-based system like this, you really do need a larger sample size than a week. So ideally I would have done this for a couple of months, maybe even a year, but that's just not an option right now. So whatever the results are at the end, I am taking it with a grain of salt that it is not really worked out the way that it's designed to. I feel like I'm finally starting to get the hang of this. I managed to place 26 bets today, which is very good considering they only offer you 30 suggestions per day. All of them, bar 4, I managed to place a bet on. And I actually made some profit for the first time. And not just a little bit. I actually managed to make $76 in just over an hour. That's crazy money. Now this won't happen every day, I'm sure, but either way it's still exciting. So our net profit at the moment is around £39 or $54. Very nice. I'll definitely take that for 3 lunchtimes work. So at this point you're probably like, wow, how do I sign up? To start with, what I'm using currently is a 7-day free trial of Beth.bet. After that, it costs between £30 to £40 a month, depending on how long you purchase it for. Now this basic membership only gives you those 30 suggestions a day. So that's the maximum even if you have this membership. If you want any more than that, I think they say around 100 per day per bookmaker, then you need to pay for their pro subscription, which is between £80 and £100 a month, again depending on how long you buy it for. So it really does get quite expensive, but if you are making the returns they say, 150% a month, then really it's nothing. But the question is, can you make those returns? I guess we'll see. So I was back at it again today, early-ish as well this time, and it went pretty smoothly. It went very well today. I think I managed to get 26 bets in. I'm happy with the number of bets we placed, but we just got to check in later and see if we've actually made a profit of any of these. It's a bit later on now, and it looks like it wasn't to be. Despite placing 26 bets, none of them won. From today, we are minus £26, which isn't great, but it's a numbers game, so hopefully it works out for us tomorrow. I only really had an hour to dedicate to this today because I was busy, you know, being a famous YouTuber and all that. And I thought this was a pretty real world scenario. You know, maybe you've only got an hour in the morning, or you got an hour break at work, or you just got a bit of time and you just want to knock it out quickly. So I thought this would be a good test to see how it would perform in that kind of situation. However, I have to be honest, I was a bit disappointed. I had it open for around an hour and only managed to place 14 bets. And to top things off, they all lost. So let me just give you some of my thoughts at this point during the week. Overall, I am liking it, and I really think you can make a decent amount of money through this if you kept up for a longer period of time than 1 week. However, the timing of when you carry out this process seems to really matter a lot, and I think Beth have somewhat understated that, or could at least do with giving us some more guidance on when the best time to do it is. Once I started doing it in the morning, it worked a whole lot better, but even then, some days it feels like, oh, you can bang out your 20 bets in under an hour, and then some days you leave it open for 3 hours and you still don't reach 20. So that can be a little frustrating at times. Secondly, I haven't done it with this experiment, but I would definitely recommend using different bookmakers, trying them out, seeing if you're getting better results on one than the other, or if one actually works. Bet365 doesn't work. Obviously this doesn't have anything to do with Beth, that's not something they can change, but just something I thought I would mention. Now back to day 6. I started at around 10 AM, but even then, the bets were just coming in super slowly. And on top of that, Bet365 was just having a fit today. I don't know what was up with it. It just wouldn't load. I clicked on bets, it would take like 5 minutes to appear. And then when I'm just trying to log in, I put in my details all correctly, and it says they're incorrect. I have to go and reset my password, log in with the exact same thing again, and then it lets me in. And I have to do this every time I log in. However, moving past my mini Bet365 rant, I only managed to place 17 bets again today, that being a combination of because Bet365 wasn't working, and also when suggestions were appearing, the odds on Bet365 were just completely different to what Beth thought they were. But did make some profit, so. Before starting today, we were sitting on a profit of around £12. Nothing too impressive, but in the green, which we always like to see. But something today and the last couple of days that's been bugging me is how often Beth.bet gives you a suggestion, you go to your bookmaker, Bet365 for example, you find it, and the odds are completely different to what they suggested. I understand the bookmaker's odds change all the time and can change within seconds, but sometimes it's ridiculous. Beth is saying that you shouldn't place it less than odds of 17, and then you get there and it's like 8. It's not even close. And when you're only getting 30 suggestions a day, if this happens 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, then you've lost out on a lot of chances. Just thought I'd get that off my chest. chest. And this was when I was going rapid as well. I was really getting to the bets very quickly, and it was still happening. But anyway, that's the 7 days done, so let's go and have a look at our results. Over the course of the 7 days, I managed to place 115 bets, so I was 25 short of their recommendation. However, I don't really view that as my fault. Part of it was because of Bet365 being annoying. Half of it was because the odds just were so different that I couldn't place the bets, so I don't know whose end that's on. So if I had met this 20 a day, perhaps the results would have been different. And if I'd done this for a month, I imagine the results would again be quite different, but 7 days it was. Something else just to note quickly is that the stake you use could also dramatically affect the profits you make. I used the £1 stake, which was their default. If you used, say, a £5 stake, then any profits you made would be multiplied by 5. However, obviously all the losses also multiplied by 5. So this would mean you could start with around £200 using £5 stake and potentially make more profit. It's definitely something I would try in the future if I had another go at this, which I might, but here we are. After 7 days, I made £2.54, which isn't great, and I was looking for a little bit more. However, it is important to note that at one point I was up almost 40 quid, which is a 100% return. And due to the small sample size of the 7-day trial I was doing, then over the course of a month, I feel pretty confident that the results would be a lot better, potentially make a lot more money. But even then, because I was only using 40 quid, that still equates to around a 6% profit, which isn't earth-shattering, but it is a decent return, and if that kept on continuing throughout the month, it adds up. So I would say definitely have a go with a free trial, as to be honest, I found the process quite fun. I don't know why. It was just quite entertaining going through it and placing all the bets. And I don't think by any means that my results are typical. So if you do give this a go, please do let me know how you did in your 7-day trial. But it has got me curious how it would perform over the course of a month. And maybe when I've got a little bit more time, I might give this a go and see if I get any different results. This method of creating income is quite an active process. But if you're looking for something that's a bit more passive, puts your money to work without you doing much, then you need to watch this video here, which will tell you all about that.